Okay, so I took one trade today for a loss. Just gonna journal that, and I'm not going to trade the PM session because price action is very choppy today. I think I have a pretty good idea of just the direction we want to go because, um, well, number one, bullish on the daily, um, and number two, if you go to the down to the 15 minute here, we've made it pretty clear that we're engineering highs here to get eventually get taken, and I think they'll probably get taken today. But I don't want to put any more capital into this market today because of just how choppy it's been. Um, it's that simple. Uh, I was obviously aiming for these highs when I was entering for the trade that I took a loss on, and so we'll go over that. Um, so obviously showed the daily already. Daily's bullish. Order flow was a little bit mixed today, but not too bad. Where I was like on not willing to take a trade, so it was okay. The 4 hour when I took this trade was bearish and still is bearish. The 1 hour when I took this trade and still now is bullish. So we have the daily and the 1 hour that are bullish. So they're in line. As long as I have one of the two, either the hourly or the 4 hour in line with the daily, then I'm okay with taking it. Um, so obviously here we have the 1 hour and the daily that are both bullish. And then on top of that, obviously, like I said, equal highs above. So that was the draw. Um, there was something else on the hourly. Yeah, okay. On the hourly, there was also this inversion fair value gap that at the time of me placing the trade or getting entered, we were respecting the hourly inversion here. Go to the 15 minute here. Is there anything to show here that I use for my trade? I don't think so. Just another thing to take note of is the 15 minute was bullish, right? So we have the daily, the 1 hour, and the 15 minute all in sync. If I go, I'll go to the 5 minute first. The 5 minute, right? We have a sweep of this low here, and we entered into a 5 minute fair value gap and 5 minute inversion fair value gap. So we had our higher time frame PD arrays, which was the hourly inversion and the 5 minute inversion and fair value gap. We have our sweep of the low. We have our drawn liquidity, which made sense, the equal highs above. Um, then we had our distribution and break of structure, and I entered in off of this fair value gap here. That's where I got triggered, so right here. Um, what else? I loved the fact that we hadn't actually swept this high yet. So we kept this high before coming and triggering my entry here. So to me, that was even more of a reason like we should go higher because we haven't even taken this yet. So at the very least, we're going to take that. So I'll be in some profit. But obviously that did not happen. Again, just not a high probability day. But my model was here, so I executed regardless. But yeah, I mean, you can obviously tell it's just not a high probability day. We've been literally ranging the entire day. We're just stuck in this, right? We're not going anywhere. Again, I would not be surprised to see us go higher today and take these highs. But we're ranging and we're not going anywhere, so I'm not willing to put any money behind that. Um, you know, and it's as simple as that. This morning, when I took this trade, or almost the afternoon, but it was pretty late in the AM session here. I was very patient. I waited. I wasn't given anything to take. If we go over here, you see a nice sweep here. Oh, but there's no entry. Also, I don't think he was using a 5 minute fair value gap or anything, or maybe it was actually. But like order flow wasn't in sync or something. Like, finally, the puzzle pieces came together for this trade, so I took it. And obviously, I took a loss. It happens. It is what it is. We'll deal with it. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I have. Psychology wise, oh yeah, I felt okay. I de-risked actually because of, now I'm just not taking another trade because we've clearly shown an unwillingness to go anywhere. Um, we'll see what the PM session has to offer, but the AM session here, I was getting a feeling, a sense of that. Yeah, we're kind of, being choppy here, but, my model was showing itself. So I said, okay, I will de-risk a little bit. I was able to risk 3 contracts here, and that would have been okay for 0.5%, which I usually risk, uh, or I usually try to risk around there. Now, I decided to do 2 contracts to lower the risk, um, and obviously, in hindsight, happy I did that. Um, so, I was deleveraging a little bit. Uh, so I was aware of the type of day we might have and the type of day we were having up to this point, but my model is here. So, I'm very happy that I took this trade regardless of the outcome, you know, because, I tell myself all the time, like, I'd much rather lose a trade having executed my model correctly than having sat on my hands, which I've done plenty of times, when my model's present, not get in and see it go in my direction, and I am just sitting there like, God, I could have made money, right? So um, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to execute whenever I see my model. I mean, uh, I am going to be aware of when there's lower probability days, even if my model shows up. It might not uh, go in my favor, even though my model's here because, well, price is choppy. So that's why here I just de-risked, and then now I'm just not. It still has not given us any, you know, momentum in one direction or the other. We're still like in the middle of this range, so I'm just done for the day. But yeah, I just trying to execute my model whenever I can, right? Whenever it shows up. That's what I do when I backtest, and I'm profitable when I backtest. So why the hell wouldn't I do it in live time, right? It's really that simple. So that's what I'm doing. And of course, the psychology comes into it, but then you gotta backtrack and say, well, wait, when I backtest and I see my model, I just enter like a robot. Oh, well, when I backtest, I make money. So why don't I do that in live time and see what happens? And that's what I'm doing. You know, and there's gonna be days when you lose, and today is one of those days. It is what it is. Happy to have de-risked again, like I said, and uh, yeah, if tomorrow I see my model in the AM session, I'll take the trade. If not, we're going to not trade the PM session because again, we have NFP on Friday this week, so I won't be trading Wednesday afternoon. I won't be trading Thursday, and I will be trading Friday if my model shows up. But of course, I mean after news, which is at 8:30. So of course I'm going to be trading after news because I don't trade until 9:30 a.m. anyway. But especially on NFP day, right? We're going to let the news play out, and then we'll see what price gives us. Do we get a data high or a data low where we can maybe target? We'll see. But today I'm done, and psychology wise, I feel good. Executed well, right? We can check off today as a good trading day because I executed my model, and I didn't over leverage. I didn't hop back in straight away to try to revenge trade. Nothing like that, right? We took the trade, we took a loss, and the day's over. It's that simple. We live to trade another day. One last thing, I did try to re-enter, but it would have been again following my model. Had we right here after we swept this low, we distributed higher, broke structure, and these equal highs were still here. I was originally just trying to aim for this. It would have been like a 1 to 1.3. As you can see, we just never tapped back into the fair value gap to enter us into the trade. And then I was like, okay, maybe here, right, this inversion fair value gap, because there was never another fair value gap given within this area here. So I was like, okay, obviously can't target here anymore. That ORR is horrific. So I will target, couldn't even target here because it's less than 1 to 1. So it would have been here, which is fine. It's still a nice target. And you can see what happened. It just would have ended up being a break-even trade because once we broke above this high, realistically, right, closed above it, this would have been like that. So, yeah, that's the trading day, and we again live to see another day, and so we'll see what tomorrow brings us, and we'll see what Friday brings us.